want to start this off by being like, one, it's so cool getting to listen to the new album early, but then I'm also pissed. Well, that's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
It's you guys are seeing this when the album's out, but it's early April right now. But also, it made me frustrated instantly because I was like, we're not going to watch this tonight. The stuff fucking sick, and we don't get to hear it like live. We have to wait for that.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask if you're going to bust out any. Like,
Yeah, we're playing some new ones. We're playing 2 new songs tonight. Trenches and If It's All the Same to You.
Yeah.
So they're not new for us because we've listened to them a lot already.
Yeah.
But you haven't heard it in a live setting.
That is true.
Different vibe.
Right.
Different vibe.
Okay, I'm just being a whinger, but it was my first thought, honestly. I think it was like track 8, which... Heaven's Shake.
Oh yeah.
I'm learning the track list already. There we go. You know how I remember that? I thought of Johnny when I saw it, because I was like, you say 04 Heaven's Shake? Say that in your Sean Connery accent.
Oh, for heaven's sake. Oh, for heaven's sake. Is that right?
Yeah.
Not bad.
So
we come up with this
that
thing
one.
we want to start doing as well. Well, I want to, just for fun. Like, Nath just picks an accent out of a hat, and I read those lyrics to the band from, like, read some lyrics to the band in that accent.
All right, we're gonna do this right now.
See if the band can pick the
the
song.
Or whatever, yeah.
No, pick the song, because
okay.
if you've got me doing it in some, like, I don't know, like I would call it
They always
German
become Jamaican. It's just Jamaican accent no matter what he's doing. But anyway, I digress. I was listening to that song and I was like, fuck, I want to hear this live. And I realised I'm going to wait so long for that. So thank you for sharing it early, but also fuck you guys for teasing it.
Yeah.
No, all good. I'm glad you like it. I didn't even know which track 8 was, to be honest.
No, I was trying to
I'm glad you remembered the name.
Paid attention. Doing homework. So,
on the new album. And I don't know, are we talking too much about the album? Because we can drop this after the album, can't we? Or
we can hold this until then.
okay.
We'll do this.
I just want to say that you guys sure fucking found a way to start and end the album. Like, those 2 tracks are fucking crushing.
Thank you.
Absolutely crushing. Like, as metal as you get and as heavy as you guys get, and it's absolutely, like, that opening riff, like, I was listening to that yesterday and I was just, or this morning actually, I was like,
He instantly messaged me. He's like, "Fuck!"
It's just like,
You know, it's interesting though that we were kind of debating for a long time what was going to be the first track on the album, and it was like a bit of a battle amongst ourselves about which song we were going to have as the opening track.
Do we have an alternative?
Trenches was an alternative.
Trenches was the alternative, but me and Josh both were
Blood to the Leech.
we were pushing for Blood to the Leech.
Well, you guys did the right choice.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just thought it's a good, like, scene setter. Do you know what I mean? It, like, opens the album, like, strong, and it's
I also feel like it
bouncy, but
encapsulates you guys as what makes you so unique, in that there's like riffs galore. Vocally, it showcases both of you so well, and it has like the modern metalcore meets hardcore with classic metal influences all in one. So like sets the journey, being like you could get any of this across the album.
yeah, and that's kind of like what I felt was the strongest part of that song. Is just like it starts straight off in your face. There's like Trenches. I feel like you need to be like a little bit warmed into the album because it's that's also very in your face, but
Quite in your face.
just a little bit. And
Just you screaming at us to start with.
Literally, you need to be like.
what would you like me to do?
I felt like if you had that as the first song on the album, it's going to be a little bit like, bloody hell, but like not in a good way. But Blood to the Leech, I don't know. It was a contender, but from the moment that we started, from the moment that we recorded it in the studio, I said to you, I was like, this has to be the first song. This has to be the first song. And it worked out that way.
And like the thing is though, there are a bunch of, look, realistically, almost every track except potentially Salt the Wound, is it? Just flow on. Yeah.
Which is not that slow.
No, but potentially, like if you want to kick the album off, every track has the potential to do that. But the other thing is with you guys, the way that you've learnt to implement the hook side of things, it's never the same. in each song, which is a really cool thing. It's almost progressive in that sense that you never know when those moments are going to come in. So starting and ending the way you do, having that sort of that dynamic shift of sounds and that ride the whole way through. For a band like you guys, I reckon it's a perfect way to start and finish an album.
Cool.
At this point in your career, anyway. Maybe we'll start with a folk song on the next album.
Can't wait. But with the same
Country
vocals.
songs?
Yeah.
Country's cool
Lucky
again, man.
strings.
Country's cool.
That's
Yeah,
it.
would you a country song, to be fair?
Yeah.
I'd be down for
Everyone's
that.
doing it.
Got some riffs going.
Yeah.
Make one easily. Yeah.
That's where the money is.
Yeah, it is at the minute.
Yeah.
Fucking is, isn't it? People are doing it all over the place. Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, so many like friends in bands that are like also like songwriters. They're like, I make most of my money from country music.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys listen to, okay, I feel like you guys are, I know the answer to this one, seeing you're wearing a Slayer t-shirt, but do you listen to much metal every day, or do you find yourselves like dipping into more other genres?
Me personally, I will dip into other genres, especially like when we're on tour, because when you're around heavy music the whole day during soundcheck, the last thing you want to do is like listen to it on the drives to the show.
Sure.
For me personally, anyway. But I mean, saying that, on the way to the venue tonight, I had a bit of Il Nino on. So
Ooh,
a little bit of new metal then there. So
Yeah.
I was just feeling that drive, man.
Are we talking the older Il Nino or the newer stuff? Because they're still releasing shit, aren't they?
Older. First album, What Comes Around Here. And that's so
What a chorus.
so good.
Yeah. This is war.
But generally, this is what.
Yeah.
But generally, I'll listen to more like everything from like rap to dance music to bass line to death metal to Elton John. Like it's very eclectic.
That's cool. I'd like to listen to that playlist.
Yeah,
Up next.
I'll send you a link.
Power ballads.
Yeah.
Power ballads. Love a good power ballad. Love
That's
a good power
favourite,
ballad.
Yeah, I listen to a lot of metal, to be honest, but like you, when I'm on tour, it's like, don't really want to listen to it a lot, but I try and check out new things, like new bands that we tour with, or bands that are just coming up from the scene, or like get recommended them on Spotify and shit these days, don't you? So I try and listen to that and just see what's coming out, what's new, but generally I just listen to the same 5 bands. Do you know what I mean? And then like obviously like other genres as well.
Slayer, Metallica,
Hatebreed, Crowbar, you know what I mean? Like, Lam God, obviously, Chimera.
Yeah.
You can't fault with the classic.
No, exactly.
Classic.
Is there anything that you guys have, checked out or been recommended that would not normally sit in what you listen to, but you were genuinely surprised by, and it's become something that you listen to a lot?
I'll have to check my phone, to be honest.
Give me a second, because I got sent an album recently, and it's.
I'm always curious, it's been like, how in the know am I? Like,
Do we know the
do I know this? Yeah.
Hang on, let me find it.
Because I feel like there's, like a lot of artists are way more deep into that sort of left of field stuff.
Yeah.
And they'll mention it on a video that we've done, and everyone in the comments will be like, oh my God, they said that artist, I love that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I've never heard of them.
Yeah.
When we did Noah from Bad Omens,
Yeah.
he was like, my top 5 festival, and 2 of them I was like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah.
I'm not going to that festival.
So the album I was on about is AIM. Honestly,
What, the French hip hop? Oh no, it's Air, sorry.
it's like electronic hip hop, but they do like 10 different genres across the whole album.
Oh,
but it's kind of chill.
I like chill stuff.
Yeah. AIM cold water music.
Do you know
Shout
Thieves?
Yeah. Do I know the?
Thieves. Fieves. It's kind of like
No.
kind
Are
of
they British?
yeah,
Yeah.
like British grungy hip hoppy,
Yeah.
Okay.
but with like real chill electronic instrumental stuff. I'll
Right.
show you
sick.
after. That's
Yeah.
that's been my like
I'm
my
into
one to
that.
put people on for like the last 6 months. I've been playing so much. So
Okay,
it's just like,
sick.
yeah, it's a good mix up.
Yeah. I've heard of nothing but Thieves.
No, it's not
That-
thieves.
that-
Thieves. It's an F at the start.
Oh, Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's how most people say it. Yeah.
Thieves.
Yeah, thieves.
A
Yeah.
lot of people in England would say it like that.
Yeah, 100%.
Couple of thieves around here.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Say that now, Johnny. Go on.
Couple of thieves around here.
Okay.
See, no, but you know this. I'm okay when I've got a reference point. Like, I'm
Yeah.
always best.
Now do it as
mocking-
an Austrian.
I'm trying to think of couple of thieves around there.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I would
alright.
go with like the don't make me run and full of chocolate.
Oh no! See, I was
That's
going. You said
German.
Austrian. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, a couple of thieves around there.
I love that.
Hey, then before you were talking about like the classics, you talked about Lam God. Obviously, having Randy on this, you guys have done stuff with him before. Do you ever get those moments being like you still having like pinch yourself moments with those being like, oh, this is like actual god tier idols on our stuff?
100%.
Yeah.
So the first time I ever actually met Randy was I got asked by the BBC to host this podcast, and it was like 2 days before the podcast was meant to be filmed, and I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't have a clue what I was doing, and they kind of trucked me in at the deep end, and they were like, oh, Randy's on there, so you'll be meeting him. So I was like, yeah, cool, let's do it.
Oh my god.
I was just like, fucking hell, what the hell do I do? But
You keep talking, I'm seeing a brightness because it got dark real quick.
Okay.
I'm still listening.
And then so it was funny because the podcast was happening like the day before we actually did 2 shows with them in Germany.
Oh.
So it was kind of good to have it as a bit of an icebreaker. And then when we met them, we played 2 shows with them in Germany, just 2 random one-off shows, and like we met them and like we got along really well, and we knew that we kind of hit it off. And then when we first like came up with the idea of having him on I mean, I always knew that I wanted to get Randy on this album. He was like one of the, if I was going to have anyone, it was going to be him. And when we went to the studio with Josh Wilbur to record, I just said, because Josh Wilbur is also Lam God's producer, I said, can you hit him up? Just drop him a text, see if he'd be interested. And like we sent him the song, I think that day, and was it the same day that he came back and was like, do you want to sing on a Lamb of God song?
Yeah, they sent like 5B sent it back through, didn't they, on like one of the Ashes of the Wake like extra songs, wasn't it? Like deluxe versions, and they redid it and he remixed it, and like obviously Matt from Kublai and you got on it, didn't it?
Sick. Yeah, it was kind of like, well, they were like, oh, if I do this for you, can you be on our album too? Like, any chance? And,
Gee, let me think.
yeah. So after much deliberation, no, it was really cool. Like, because we'd already had a bit of a relationship before, and we knew that at that point that we were going to be doing the tour at the end of last year together. So
sure,
we were just like, yo, this is perfect. Like, we both did a feature on each other's songs, and obviously, huge privilege for me to be on one of my favourite bands of all time songs, and a huge privilege for us to have Randy on a track as well. Like, that's been the goal for a long time. So it was sick, and I think he did an amazing job. Like, he was ringing me whilst he was recording it. He was like, Alex, what do you think to this? I was like, sounds great. Get it done. But he's a great guy, and we've got a lot of time for him. He's like been very supportive.
That's good.
Since we kind of met, and same with all of the Lamb of God band and camp. Like, when we were on tour with them, they were very welcoming. Made us feel like we were like really part of the team. So
I see him wearing like smaller bands merch on stage. I was like, that's a really cool thing for someone at that level to be able to kind of like showcase, being like, oh, like I'm repping these smaller bands, and it makes it cool for like other people to do that as well.
Yeah, and that's how I've like discovered bands back in the day when I was growing up.
100%.
Like finding like when I started going to shows, and I'd go and see like Chimera or Hatebreed, and I'd be like, oh, what shirts he got on? What, Biohazard? Or like, or Madball? I'm like, who's Madball? And we'd go and check it out. Like, this is sick. So, you know, it's awesome, like, especially for like them new people who are getting into the scene.
Yeah.
Especially because, like, you know, 10, 20, 30 years ago, 10, not so much, but 20, 30 years ago, when you're discovering bands and you're much younger, like, Spotify didn't exist. You know, there wasn't like, here's like 50 suggested bands that might kind of be similar to the bands that you like. It's just handed to you now on a silver platter, which is great. But
it's almost too much, I think. You know, like,
it gets a little bit overwhelming.
Like, trying to find new artists and stuff. It's like, I don't know. I feel like it was more organic, or I was willing to listen to more stuff when I'd like gone to the shop flick through the CDs and being like, right, this looks cool. Like this is on the label that I think is like all the other bands listen
What
to.
cover
is
looks
on.
the coolest?
Yeah, and I'm just like,
what
get it
track
home. And
names
it's
look
like,
the coolest?
and you have to spin the
But it
CD
was
like a few
way
times.
more expensive back then.
Yeah, it definitely was.
You couldn't like. I can listen through 10 artists and be like, cool, I liked those 3. Then I couldn't afford to buy 10 CDs. I would have been broke.
But they made you more selective with the ones that you did buy. It's like,
Yeah.
this album artwork is kind of cool, but I'm going to go for Metallica because it's got a fucking toilet with a fist coming out of it.
yeah.
You know, like it was like something like that. You were more selective, and I feel like there was an element of you were also a bit more inclined to like it if you just spent £10
That's
on it.
exactly
Like, fuck it, I'll spend a tenner on it. I best enjoy it.
Yeah.
There's like songs that stick in your head from your childhood, in there because you just had it on for like years.
Yeah.
It's like you just never changed the CD and it just press play like every time. It had just been Hybrid Theory for like 2 years.
Yeah.
It's like, or you get in the,
Loading up Microsoft Flight Simulators like
yeah, bang, yeah. You just know every word.
There's a throwback.
I'm still playing.
And the other thing was like, remember how you used to have the CD car stackers in the car? So you had like 5 albums in there, and you just never changed them.
CD stacker?
Yeah, like you could have like 5. I think it went up to like some cars. You get like 10, 20 CDs, and it just went
My
between
mum
them.
had one of those in the car.
Yeah.
Like 5 CDs.
Was that a
And then it breaks,
was that
and you've got the same
fancy
5
thing, or
albums.
was that like a not so fancy thing?
It
I'm
wasn't
trying to work out
first.
where my childhood was.
It wasn't first,
Yeah.
and then it sort of became like
It trickled down.
Yeah. Dude, I remember my first car, I had the cassette with the wire that went into my iPod.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That
We
was
had a
cool.
van that was like that one time.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
when we started touring. That was like.
And did you ever have the thing that you would plug in and you tune it to a radio station
My
that had
wife
nothing on it?
still has that.
I was gonna say.
That's how she plays Bluetooth stuff in her car. She has like the radio thing, you go switch it. Because if I get in the car, I just can't listen to music. Because it's like tuned to her thing.
My girlfriend had that up until last year, and every time you get in, or like if you pulled up to a set of traffic lights and the next car along to you was a bit closer to their frequency, you'd be like interchanging tunes, and they're like, say I've got something like really hard rap on, I'd look to my right, and the people next to me would be like, just going on.
yeah.
All of a sudden, Barbie Girl starts coming through yours, and you're freaking out.
Yeah. So,
I want to get back to Lam God because I had a point that I was leading to there, and it's a hot take. Bear with us, people. He's goated, but I genuinely think you guys are so good that he doesn't stand out on the track.
oh my
Fair
goodness!
enough.
Wow.
Well.
I was like,
Wow.
it's fucking sick, and it's like his name being on there, but I don't feel like, I feel like you guys are so tight and so powerful that he doesn't add a whole extra dynamic that he does for other people's guests.
Nathan's very picky on his. No,
Fair
we're
enough.
both picky
Yeah, we
on
are.
features
It's not a
because we
slight
have a
on him.
lot.
He doesn't sound bad at all.
No.
It's more a comment on you guys. I actually think with a guest feature like that, I was like, interesting. You guys have such a prowess between you and Coney. Con.
Yeah.
That there's not much space for someone else to fill, unless they have a completely different tone.
I hear. I hear what you're saying.
I am
You're
very
wrong.
good.
No, honestly, every time I just hear that signature Randy screaming, it makes me want to put my head through a wall.
Cool.
So, like,
Yeah, I think for me,
I'm not trying like. When we were like thinking of which song to have a guest on, that one just stuck out to me because I could always hear his like signature like high pitched.
Yeah, I was gonna say when he hits into the higher,
when he goes
I do
into
like
that shit, it makes me want to kill someone. So like I hear where you're coming from, but like
I
don't know.
I disagree with him simply not because of like, you know, against what he said about you guys being powerful and all that sort of stuff. Very powerful, don't get upset. But
He just said he's gonna kill someone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the screen.
Yeah.
But it's basically for the reason you said as well. It's that signature iconic Randy tone, and I think that is a cool thing to hear on there. You know, obviously.
Breakdown as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not. Lam God have got their fair share of breakdowns, but they're a little bit more few and far between these days. So I knew like I wanted to have him screaming over a beatdown because it's something that you just don't hear. So like,
It's what we as a band would want to hear.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's
So-
exactly it.
Selfish motherfuckers.
Yeah.
That's
Make
exactly
it
it.
happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sick.
So you said like if we were going to have a guest on the track, Is that something that when you're writing the album, you're like, we want to steer away from guests, we want it to be just us? Because you could have it one of two ways. There's some where you see it's only one. It's like, why did they get a guest on just one track? Or why didn't they get a guest? Because they've got so many friends. But then you've got some that have like guest vocalists on 5 or 6 tracks. And for me, that's a little bit like, well, I mean, like you've got really iconic and different vocals on these tracks that are going to enhance the experience and enhance the song. But it's like, how are you going to do that live? It's never going to be the same live. Why would you have so many songs with
I mean,
guests?
I love it when there's a guest vocalist. I'm like, a good example of it is the latest Pain of Truth album, because they've got a guest vocalist on every single song. And when they play it live, although they may not have the person there that is doing it on the record, they'll just get another one of their mates to come on and do it. And I think that's absolutely sick. And that's like part of the selling point of like their songs is like, it's just mates getting together singing each other's little words. But for us, I think like the hard part for us was we kind of wrote a lot of the songs before we'd even really thought about having a guest spot on there. And then afterwards we were like, all right, we need to kind of pick a song to like, we had an idea of a couple of spaces and Inspire was the obvious one. But yeah, we kind of like, it was, I don't want to say an afterthought, but it was something that we were like, oh, well, I guess it's going to have to be Inspire because that's just how it's panned out. And like we were talking about maybe having someone on Trenches as well, but like when we came to recording, we were just like, this just needs to be us. And I guess it's just, you just go off the feel at the time. But yeah, I like, going back to like guest vocals, personally, I mean, I think it's down to everyone, but personally, I love it when there's a guest spot feature. And as well, it makes it even more special when eventually that band does link up with that person at a live show. Like the first time we do that song with Randy, it's gonna be fucking nuts.
I can't wait.
It's like the same. It's like I think the first time we did Keep Your Distance with Brian was in Invasion Fest in Sydney, like 5 years ago.
Wow.
That was the first time we did it, and it went fucking off. So like, you just gotta like, I don't know, just look forward to them moments and. You know, and if not, you just get your mates to sing it in the meantime.
I do like the get people to come and just like, because you guys have done a few guests and then you've guests on other people's as well. I think that's kind of fun to imagine being like, it's just like hanging with mates and getting this person to do this song and then whoever else on tour can do it instead. That's cool.
It's like we've got the singer from Zuko tonight. He's been singing Brian's bit on Keep Your Distance. And
Nice.
They've got quite similar vocal styles, so like it's sick.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah, and it gives me a break.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Like, it gives me a break.
You don't have to go with that real high scream for it?
I never even try. I couldn't even try. Fuck it up. I'm dying.
Alright, Johnny, ask the hard question about this album.
Ooh.
All right.
Ooh.
Well, I hate how you pass it to me because
you're the bad guy.
Yeah,
You've got to do it.
Here we go.
All right. Gun to your head. You got to pick favorite track and one that you'd cut.
Oh, this is easy. This is easy. This is fucking easy for me anyway. My favourite flips quite a lot, but at the moment it's the final song with Dirt for My Grave, and
It's
I like
fucking sick.
I love that song,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of gutted that it's the last song on the album because I feel like it's such a good song. It's my first go at clean singing, screaming on that chorus, so.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, that was
Who
like,
that was?
Yeah, that was my first go at it really on a record, and
Cool.
and I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
My least favourite would be Demonstration of Pain, only because that for a long time was the song that was going to get cut, and it was my least favourite. That being said, I'm glad we didn't cut it now because having listened to the album a lot over the last 12 months, like it's been nearly like a year since we recorded it.
Yeah.
Having listened to it, it's grown on me, and I still think it's a great song. But they're my two.
Yeah. I think, I don't know, like I have such a love-hate relationship with all the songs because I've like started writing them, some of them like 4 years ago. Do you know what I mean? Like if it's all the same, like I've had that riff since before Malicious Intent. So it's just trying to find like where it's going to work.
And then I said to you as well, like, if it's all the same to you, when you first showed me that, I was like,
Yeah, that's it. Like,
I will admit, I was like, I'm not feeling this one. And now it's...
Glad you didn't listen to him.
I'm glad you didn't listen to me because it's a fucking absolute
I've got
banger.
it in my head. I know that if it pulled off right, it's going to be sick. But I get it as well. It's like, people who are listening to it for the first time may not have the same connection with it as I do, because I've like got a vibe when I'm like writing the riffs or whatever. So, but I think one of my favourites at the minute is definitely "So Help Me God." I just like the song a lot. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the ones that.
Did you write the riff?
I wrote all the riffs. And then I guess I think my least favourite one is "Counterfeit." I don't know why. I just feel like something about it just like sort of doesn't quite flow as well as I think it could have done. But I don't know what it is about it. You know what I mean?
Okay. I thought you were going to say Trenches.
No, that one's growing on me, to be fair.
Because you didn't like the Trenches for a while.
No, I didn't like it.
Because there's no noodling.
Yeah.
You're like straight up.
You were like, it's going to be boring to play this live, but now we've actually been playing it live, and you see the reaction.
Do you get that though? Like, do you get bored with, or do you see it as a, because obviously you're very, very technically proficient, and it must be fun to be able to do that stuff and have people watch you and go, this dude fucking shreds. But do you not look at those moments as like, or when you're writing, think, I need to give myself a minute to just enjoy the crowd or enjoy the guys, or?
Well, I like to put on a show when I'm playing. Do you know what I mean? I want to like move about. I want to be able to go mental and like engage with people in the crowd and stuff as well.
That's what breakdowns are for.
Yeah, exactly. As well as play tight, but I want to enjoy what I'm playing and like. I've played guitar since I was 7 years old. I mean, it's like 23 years, so it's like, I don't know. There has to be a certain part of it for me that's enjoyable to play, but I would say that there's more like we're better at writing songs now rather than just like Rain and Suffering is like what we call like riff soup. Do you know what I mean? 'Cause it's just like riff, then another riff, then another riff, and there's like no repeating parts really. Maybe one on the whole album in like Serpent's Chokehold. Do you know what I mean? But so like things like the choruses and stuff, like trying to leave more space for Con to sing or Alex, to like it's more vocally driven.
Yeah.
But then I want like the riffs to be
massive
riffs. Do you know what I mean? And then like so.
Is that something where you've had to when you are writing? Because I had I'm going to throw him under the bus. My cousin in my band, he would come to band practice and with a song. And it would be 7 riffs that would all be fucking great. Mm-hmm. But every single time for fucking 6 years, I'd have to be like, great. There's too many fucking riffs, man.
Yeah.
Like, what's the chorus? It's still a riff. The breakdown is still a riff, dude. Is that something where you've had to kind of, I won't sort of say pull back on wanting to sort of show how good you are, and it's all part of songwriting, to say, I need to learn when to rein it in.
Yeah, I think
be a little bit more
so,
critical on yourself. It's like
well, like I was saying, like with the structuring of songs and things like that. I just remember talking to some other people in bands like who had also developed their songwriting skills, obviously through the years, and they were like, someone once said to me, they were like, well, I can write 15 riffs right now, but I need to make 5 songs out of those 15 riffs. Do you know what I mean? So it's like if you change the riff every 8 bars or whatever, then it's like there's no real song. It's just a piece of music, which is fine, but people don't want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Because it's fine for me because I like understand music and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But it's not
to the general
listener. And they don't care. Do you know what I mean? They just want to fucking bang their heads or mosh or sing along, and that's like what I want. But like
I think like as time's gone on as well, like we've all individually learned how to write songs rather than like a piece of music. It's like it's not just Josh as well. It's like me and Con, like how we feed off each other and like how where our parts sit. Like it's been a group learning curve.
That's been one of the most interesting things on this album is where your parts sit, because it's not always where you think you would. Like you guys could still nail it as a traditional, structured band where you're going to have a killer riff, screamed verse, pre-chorus, big chorus. You guys could do that and have 10, 12 songs on an album that would all be great. Mm-hmm. But the one thing that did really impress me was where some of these places fit and it just was unexpected, and the tempos changed, and there's so much more ebb and flow in this than you guys.
I feel like that, it was more of like a conscious effort, especially on songs like Salt the Wound. Like we really wanted to kind of bridge the gap between having like a heavy song on the album and then one of the ballad type songs. We wanted to really kind of merge the two together. and like figure out a way where we can maybe do a screaming chorus, which is something that we normally go to con for the choruses, you know. And like again, that's just been part of the learning curve, and it's part of the fun side that we had working with Josh Wilbur on this album. Is like he brought these like other ideas and other perspectives to the table that to kind of push us out of our comfort zones a little bit and try new ideas. So yeah, I feel like that song in particular is like one that I always think like, oh, that's us doing the two sides of Malevolence in one song. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's always interesting. I find a lot of the time with bands like you guys that are so known for your intensity, those softer moments really are the ones that stand out for people. They become so memorable and they become such a thing. But then if you go too far down that path, everyone's like, fuck this band. Focus on it.
Because when it's comes in, it's like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
That's the song I sent you this morning. Be like, it's fucking epic.
Yeah, you said this song slaps and it started really slow. And I was just like, what's this? This motherfucker got the right song.
And it slaps like
I want to
gently.
start cuddling people right now. And then eventually it starts slapping. Like bum pats.
Now, I want to congratulate you guys as well on my favourite music video of the year so far.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Fucking sick. We both was like, also, getting the actor, so good.
That was fucking wild.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed your reaction to it. Yeah, it was one of my favourite video we've ever done. I think we like came up with the idea one day when we were like, right, we've got a bunch of music videos. What do we want to do? And I don't even know who came up with the idea of doing like a bank heist, but it was something that we put on a whiteboard. We wrote it down, and we were like, yeah, maybe we can make that happen. And then like forgot about it for a couple of weeks, and then we came back to when it was crunch time to decide on what we were doing. And like, right, let's do this bank heist idea. And then we spoke to the guys who film it, Don Prod, who are like a great bunch of lads from the UK. They do a lot of like rap videos, and they do like Central C's music videos and stuff. So they're great. They've got a really good creative vision.
I don't know who that is. Who's Central C?
Central C. He's like,
I was going to play it cool for a second, and
I respect you for. He is the biggest UK rapper at the minute.
Okay, good.
Like the biggest guy.
I'm not very cool.
You'll know his music.
Okay, sure.
But yeah, anyway, so we hit them up with the idea, and they like ran with the concept, and they're great to work with because they're very like, you give them a bone and they will run with it. So and then we're like back and forth working out the ideas, and then I was just on YouTube one night and I was like, you know, doom scrolling through related links, and like a clip from Snatch came up, and it was like a scene with Bricktop where he's giving his like infamous speech. And I was just thinking, like, how cool would it be if we? At that moment, I didn't even think, oh, let's get Bricktop. I was just like, how cool would it be if we just got a classic British gangster to be in the film? And then spoke to lads about it, and I was like, I watched Snatch last night. They were like, well, why don't we just try and get Bricktop? And I was like, we could try. We could try. I was like, he's never going to do it. And then
Malevolence? Oh, they're fucking sick.
And then Andy from our management reached out to his agent, and he was on it. He was just like, yep, let's do it.
That's fucking so cool.
Yeah, and it was really funny. Like when we were on the actual shoot day, we'd been there already throughout the day filming a bunch of stuff, and then he turned up in like a blacked out limousine. And like, it was so gangster.
Playing the part.
And like, you walked in, and it was like, everybody was like, really, like, everybody, including like all the crew and stuff, were like kind of nervous to go and talk to him. And like, even I was just like, oh, because he's this guy that you see in the film. It's like, I don't know, it's like a weird psychological thing. But I was just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go and talk to him. I'm like, I'm going now. I walked in, and I was like, shall I introduce myself? And like, there was like a split second where I shook his hand, and I thought he was just gonna go, who the fuck are you? But he was a really nice guy, really like passionate about like giving the best performance he could. He learnt his lines in like 30 minutes, like before
just
like
a full
going.
trooper.
Yeah. Like
he should do that for a job.
Yeah. And he was like in between takes, he was like looking at me because I wrote the lines for him, but I was like, make them your own. Like, this is just a rough guide. And in between every take, he was looking at me like, "Is this okay? Like, am I saying this right?" I'm like, "You're doing fucking brilliant, mate. I'm terrified over here." Yeah.
Oh my God.
You know, that's a really cool thing as well, though, to see from someone who is so renowned and so well respected and is obviously a master of their craft. They kind of, I'm sure it puts things in perspective, being a band that, you know, sometimes, regardless of how good you are at something, you always want to do the part justice. You always want to do the song justice.
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
always willing to take on, like, advice or constructive criticism or direction or something like that.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
really cool for
100%.
him to look over to guys that have zero acting experience and go, "Am I doing okay?" It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you've been
yeah.
in movies. It's like,
We said to him at the time, we were like, "Yo, like this is our first time." I mean, we don't even do anything in that opening scene, do
No,
we?
I
But
just stood there like.
we stood there like just taking a bollocking basically, and like there was like a few bits where he had to like stare a few of us out, and like we had to nod, and that's it. That's all we had. That's the only acting that we had to do. But all the lads were like, "Oh God, I don't know if I'm ready for this, man." Like, psyching them.
It was like,
Everyone nodding, right?
Yeah.
Literally, that's literally it. But yeah, it was sick that he was like on board, and like since then, like he gave me his number and he's like texting me every now and again, just saying like, "Oh, I'm seeing all the comments on YouTube. I've seen all the reactions. Like, I love
cool.
it." So
That's
like,
fucking
cool.
yeah, it's awesome. Like, he's like saved as Bricktop in my phone, so every time the text pops up, I'm like, yeah.
So gangster.
in terms of like the acting stuff though, like, you know, your music videos where it's just you guys performing, you know how to play, you know how to look good while you play, you're very comfortable with your instruments, and that's something I always say to Nath is like, I can't stand watching bands that, regardless of how good they are, they don't look like they're enjoying it or they don't look comfortable. You guys are clearly very comfortable, so those style music videos are always super engaging. When it comes to the other parts of that music video, how was it with the acting and then playing those parts, and, you know, like, how long did it take you guys to get into those headspaces and those moments?
I mean, we shot the video over 2 days, so we had to drop into it pretty quick.
Yeah. I feel like Don Brod like helped us in that regard by not really giving us like super hard things to do. Do you know what I mean? It's like the roles that we each play in it are like fairly minimal. Do you know what I mean? There's no talking in them and stuff like that, so it's kind of a bit easier. Do you know what I mean?
But even in terms of like facials and things and conviction in like what is going on with the face is something that always stands out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you guys were convincing.
Yeah. Thanks.
There was a couple of times I would like stand behind Jack and Tom whilst they were filming. I'd be like, "Get him to do it again. It looks fucking weird." Just get him to stop pulling that face. But for like, yeah, like I guess I don't know. It's like we've been doing like music videos in general for so long, and in essence, filming a music video is fucking awkward. Like it's it's so ridiculous, but because we've done so many now, and some of the things that we've done for music videos, like over the years, it's like this was a small thing compared to like some of the shit we've done. Like back in the day when we had you doing a guitar solo in the middle of Shibuya Junction in downtown Tokyo at rush hour.
Yeah, it was like fully real as well. Just
Fully
like waiting
real.
for everyone to cross, running out into the middle.
Sorry,
like, quick.
Yeah, literally. I'm there like holding the crowd back and like.
Yeah.
But you know what? The Japanese are so respectful and they're so rules driven. But they see something like that, they're like, "Oh, this is the best thing ever." But also, just keep going.
Honestly,
about
it was sick, because the shot, like, no one even looks at me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's fucking mental. It looks like it's like AI or something.
If you did that in Sydney, people would be like, "Fucking weirdo!"
Yeah.
He's not even playing!
Yeah, get on, cunt. Get on.
And does it give you guys like a little bit of sort of drive to see where you can go with music videos moving forward? Does it kind of
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it's always
created a little bit of
interesting to see
Is there
what
another
they do.
single going to be dropping before the album's out?
Yeah, we've got next week.
21st, is it?
Next week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next single's next week, and then there'll be a fourth on
Focus
release week.
track.
Music videos to both?
Yeah, we filmed just literally the 3 days before we came out here. We did 2 music videos in the space of like 4
Well, now we
days.
definitely can't pretend that we haven't heard it.
Yeah. We don't ever
We don't
pretend
do
we
that
haven't
anyway.
heard. We'll always be like, we've heard this before, but we haven't seen it yet. But yeah.
Yeah, we are vehemently against that because there has been reactions that we've checked out in the past where it's like, motherfucker, you've definitely heard this song.
I know.
No one would pick that.
I
No
know.
one would pick that.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
You can tell when Johnny misses the breakdown that we don't watch them. He's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, if it's on an offbeat or something, or there's like a pause for a bar or something, I'm just like, you fucks. I was like, all right, tick.
Yeah. And it's like them guys that have already got exactly what they want to say lined up. It's like, oh, I knew this breakdown was going to happen. Like, we've seen it before.
And tour's been going well, enjoying being back in Australia. Obviously, we love you here.
Oh, mate, I love it. It's the highlight of any touring calendar. I love this country. It's like, it's just like being on a lad's holiday every time we come here.
Yeah.
And every time we have been here, everyone always shows us so much love. Like, the shows have been great. And this time it's been fun because we're doing all the small places that we've never been
It's
in.
a big tour for an international to do.
Yeah.
A lot of dates.
I hear that it's not like a common thing to do. Like,
No, most regionals are all Australian because they're like, who wants to spend 4 weeks driving around the country? You guys do.
we do, yeah, we
do it in
do.
every other country, so like,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah, that's a very
actually-
good point, actually. Yeah.
It's a
Different-
good one.
yeah, the difference is that this country is beautiful to drive around as opposed to others. So, and there's plenty of things to do. The food's good. The weather generally is quite
Yeah,
good.
sorry about today.
Yeah.
We've got it with us, haven't we?
Yeah, this
Like,
is
it's like
UK
I was
weather.
saying to you earlier, even when it's raining, it's still t-shirt weather.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
we love coming here. We're having a great time.
You guys can't see, but Johnny has no pants on me. He looks cold up here, but underneath, no pants.
Can confirm.
Doing all I can to stop this table from lifting because obviously, you know.
It's just wobbling around like crazy. He did like the album.
It's really good. Yeah, those riffs get me really hard. That's a bit weird. Anyway, let's
Took a fucking detour,
let's ask a couple more fun questions, difficult questions. Dream lineups. 5-band festival lineup. Give it to us.
Make a festival that you want to go to but you're not playing at. You can pick 6 artists, you can pick 3 each.
Bands can be alive or dead, cancelled or not. Actually, there's one cancelled band you can't use.
Yeah. Everyone knows who that is.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't.
Yes, you do.
The band.
The band.
We'll go through this after
Yeah,
camera because
yeah.
I'm not keeping up here.
Wait, no, come on, we could lost profits.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said
yeah,
it.
you can't vote it.
Yeah.
Funny little side story. I don't know whether you can keep this in or not. Fuck it, we'll do it anyway.
We'll find out. Yeah.
Alan Ford has done one music video before, and that is a Lost Profits music video.
No way.
Oh.
What
Yeah.
video?
Oh, it's for some fucking miscellaneous song that's absolutely dog shit. But yeah, leave that in. It's funny as fuck.
You know what? I've said it before. That's such a bummer because I loved Lost Prophets. When I was in high school, I loved Lost Prophets.
They were massive,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, the
huge
band- the band.
They were
Right.
huge. The first like 2 or 3 albums for me was like seminal moments that I've like high school for me.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I can't listen to that anymore.
Yeah.
You ruined
Dude,
it.
you know what? And I'm going to be fully transparent. I noticed recently that they've been put back on Spotify. And
Oh, really?
yeah. And I was like, oh man, I really enjoyed that. He's going to follow.
Download.
Chuck him a follow. Yeah. I really enjoyed that second album, Start Something or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna see if I can do the separate artist from the artist
Did you
thing.
feel guilty?
I put it on and I got like 30 seconds through the first song. As soon as the vocals came in, I couldn't do it. And I
Yeah,
feel
it's
really
fun.
fucking bad because I've listened to podcasts with the other members where they were totally just like, the bass player apparently beat the fucking shit out of him on the tour bus. Like, and like, I was just like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm a
it's
fucking
too
dad,
fucking
man.
rough,
Like, even if you're not a dad, like, I can't do this. This
Yeah.
is
Too raw.
I can't hear that voice. And
Yeah,
like,
and it's hard when he's like the centerpiece.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The vocalist, like it's
yeah, you can't, yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, out of
So
the
no
room
Lost
stuff.
Profits.
Yeah. Damn it, that was going to be both of you.
Yeah.
All right, you pick 3 bands. You go first.
I really want to see Earth, Wind and Fire. That'd be
Holy
sick.
fuck,
Yeah.
what?
That would be
sick.
such a
Curveball.
vibe.
Yeah, and just like something mental. I mean, I just
Yeah.
think it'd be wicked.
Yeah.
I'd just say Pantera, the original lineup,
Oh,
just because like
yeah.
Dimebag's like one of my heroes
Okay.
or whatever. Again, maybe separate the art from the artists, but you know, what I mean, it's one of them.
Yeah.
And then third band, maybe I'd say Ocean Alley. You like them? They're from Australia.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like them. Listen to them a lot. Been to see
That's-
them in Manchester as well.
That Confidence Baby song's them, right?
Yeah.
All about confidence. That one?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Nailed it.
Yeah, it didn't really sound like Kermit the Frog, but for try.
I was trying to think it was like Kermit the Frog mixed with Jack Black.
Yeah. I've got
All right,
pretty,
so
yeah,
That was eclectic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, I'll go for an Aussie band as well. DMAs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're like one of my favorite bands.
They are so beloved overseas as well, like especially in the
England
UK.
loves them, man.
Yeah, fucking love
Because they look English as fuck.
I haven't
I actually thought they were English for the longest time, and then I saw an interview on Triple J, and I'm like, wait, that guy's from Melbourne or some shit for sure.
Yeah, they're proper lads. But I've like worked a load of shows for them, doing security back in the day, and they have like amazing
You
shows.
did security.
Yeah.
Tough as fuck.
I mean, sit next to me, though. You know.
Yeah, it looks tough as fuck. Alright, that's two.
DMAs, and then I'm gonna go for Linkin Park in Hybrid Theory era.
yeah.
Because I've never said that before. But
Did you see them in that era?
No,
Yeah.
but we didn't see them. We didn't see them in that era. But we saw them at
Download.
we saw them at Download when they did the anniversary, and that was pretty fucking good. But I imagine going back to like early 2000s and seeing them then, that'd have been sick. And then I'm gonna go for Chimera in the same era as Impossibility of Reason.
Very
'Cause
nice.
That's one of my favorite metal albums of all time.
Yeah.
They were a weird one too, because for some reason they were lumped in with the nu metal crowd. But they were not nu metal
I never
at
heard
all.
them.
They had a little bit of groove, and that's
they've
about
got
it.
some like influences. It's got the fucking scratching.
Yeah, they
had a guy on the DJ desk going.
Didn't they have a guy with dreadlocks as well?
Yeah.
You didn't in that era, though.
Yeah.
That was the new metal bit.
Yeah. That's all it took.
That is an eclectic lineup.
Yeah.
DMAs,
It's-
Chimera. What was the other one you said?
Linkin Park.
Linkin Park. Oh,
Hybrid
yeah, that
Theory.
small band, Linkin Park.
Yeah.
Wind and Fire. Yeah. That's a fun lineup.
That's
I
a
would
good
go to
lineup.
that.
I would, that's definitely less heavy than I expected.
It's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah.
How much we charging?
Yeah. Oh, cheap as possible, so everyone can go.
Yeah.
I like that. All right, we'll wrap it up so you guys don't have to stay with it for too long. But
Oh, good. Thank you for having
genuinely
us.
so stoked you out. Like,
Yeah, thank you very much.
yeah, you guys should be really proud. I know you've been sitting on it for a long time, so it's
Yeah.
probably not as
I'm
exciting
sick
for
of
you
it.
guys, but for us, we had it for a day. We love it.
It's fucking cool to get to hang again. We haven't seen you since we saw you briefly. Was it Knotfest?
Knotfest,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
not first.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
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 About time we came back for Knotfest, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's do another festival.
Yeah.
Let's do it when they're not doing not
Or a
festivals.
headline tour.
I think we'd do an Australian headline tour now. I think. I think
Yeah.
enough people want it.
I
We
also think
want it.
off the back of this album, I already want it, so
Yes.
that's enough, right?
You've been very
I
selfish.
think Nath wants it, so we'll go back over to Australia.
Yeah.
Worth it. Really expensive ticket price for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks as always, lads.
No worries,
like I
mate.
said, stoked
Cheers.
on the album. It's fucking killer, and can't wait to see you play at least 2 tracks live.
Yeah.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Nice
Thank
one.
you very much.